how you can build a prudent and repeatable benchmarking process for your plan sponsors so that you can document every single decision that you make and to make sure that in case of an emergency, you have everything that you need to help give that information over. So in terms of fee benchmarking, I myself, I'm a visual learner. And so on the right-hand side here, this is kind of what I picture, we here at PlanFees picture as the fee benchmarking cycle. So it all starts with gathering fee disclosures, which makes sense. You can't benchmark fees if you don't have the actual fees. So the first piece of every benchmarking process is going to be gathering information. Now, traditionally, advisors will seek this information directly from the plan sponsor through a 5500 or things like that. But here at PlanFees, it's our position that the best document to dissect a retirement plan's fees is the 408B2 disclosure document that's required from record keepers. That's the document that's going to most clearly lay out what fees the retirement plan is paying, who's taking home that money, and also where is that money going. And then after gathering that fee information, it's up to the advisor and the fiduciaries on the plan to determine the reasonableness of those fees and determine, well, what is reasonable? Because a reasonable fee for a $2.5 million retirement plan is not even close to a reasonable fee for a $12.5 million retirement plan. So it's going to be on a case-by-case basis for the advisor and the fiduciaries to decide, hey, is this a reasonable investment fee or record keeping charge or advisor compensation to be charging for this plan? Once the advisor does that, what they'll do is on an annual basis, do a quick benchmarking of the plan's fees to document that they've done their annual benchmarking, that they're checking up on the fees on an annual basis and comparing them to a universe of similarly sized plans. And then lastly, we have the live bid RFP type resources that the ERISA community suggests that you perform every 3 to 5 years or so, or at the onset of a new client relationship. Those are typically more robust benchmarking resources that involve soliciting quotes from competitive record keepers and then comparing their proposed pricing structure to the current pricing structure of the plan. So with that, we have our kind of fee benchmarking cycle that we have, our process. But how do we determine reasonableness? How do we utilize the technology and the resources that we all have available to us to help our prospects and clients? And so within the last few years, we've seen a huge boom in the fintech industry, specifically in the retirement services space, in benchmarking materials and reports that are available. Now, these benchmarking reports, I personally believe that you can put on this diagram here to figure out, should an advisor use it or not? So on our y-axis here, we have reports that are compelling to completely useless. And then on the x-axis here, we have reports that take a ton of an advisor's time to are run almost immediately on demand. So in this bottom right quadrant here, right, we have our benchmarking resources that are easy to use, but don't lead us to desired results. That's going to be just Googling how much does your 401k cost, whether you're using a old-fashioned hard copy book to benchmark your plan. These resources are a little bit outdated, despite the fact that they're efficient and fast to use. They don't really lead to the desired outcomes for a plan participant. Then in the top left quadrant, kind of in an inverse role, we have reports that lead to the desired results that we're looking for, but they take too much of an advisor's time. We here at PlanFees put a huge emphasis on efficiency with advisors servicing their book of business. We believe that if an advisor can save 10 to 15 minutes on each specific report that they're running for their client, it saves them numerous hours a year to go out and prospect for new business and help grow their firm. So in this kind of quadrant, we have a spreadsheet, just the old-fashioned plug and play. We have live bid systems where you're organizing the current pricing structure and then sending out requests for other bids and then organizing all that into a report. And then as we get into more of a gray area, we look at reports that are good, but don't quite lead us to the right results, which is going to be your really in-depth benchmarking resources that are out there. or a quick proposal system that promises to expedite that process. And then lastly here, we have in the most desired quadrant, the top right, is what we call the Holy Grail. And we believe that PlanFees is that answer for retirement advisors. It's efficient, it's compelling, and it most often leads to the results that retirement advisors are looking for. Thanks a lot for watching today, folks. Again, my name's Luke Vandermillen. I'm with the PlanFees team. I can be reached at 949-305-3718 or lukev@planfees.com. That's V as in Veronica, lukev@planfees.com. Thanks again and have a great rest of your day.